20. Constance. Miss Gray, this is exactly what I was looking for, Mac, the stage manager, said. We were looking at the beautiful clouds of fog filling the stage, make everything appear quite magical, even the mop and bucket standing front and center. You're and Hun bigger up the gal sometimes. Thanks, Mac, I said. I can't believe it. Finally, after whole days with Andrew, I've been given a whole weekend to myself. He had been so apologetic that he had to visit his family. I have assured him that the distance makes my heart grow fonder, but inside mine was bursting with joy. Time to just do whatever I wanted it. Time to finally play with my chemistry set. To create fake weather systems. Or at least a fabulous stage of fog that looked fantastic in the light. You keep making this, I'll pay you for the materials and a little extra for the mugging of yours, said Mac, hands in the pockets, nodding happily. Best of all, it won't stick up the costumes, I added. Okay, you better skedaddle out of here. The girls aren't going to need you. I nodded and jumped onto the stage as light as a feather. I ran backstage and stood in the wings for a moment. Then I did a little jib and clapped my hands together. I was so happy, I didn't know I could feel this quite happy. Nothing else had done this before this. Not horse diving or boys or helping out with the costumes. Making something like this, that was magical. No, it was science. I barely heard a word that anyone said to me backstage, though I did notice Chloe say something about me being in love and lost in the clouds. I found that almost insulting, but I didn't say anything. I never say anything. Besides, for some reason it didn't upset me, because at least I know it wasn't true. And maybe I was lost in the clouds of the man-made fog, or exactly girl-made fog. I stayed in the dressing room during the show, cleaning up and just overload feeling proud of myself, and then happily entered the whirlwind of activity after the performances, undoing the buttons, collecting items that needed to be cleaned up. I was such in a incredible mood, I wondered if it could go away. I even said yes when Chloe pressured me again to go out and borrowed other sparkly dress. Would you like to try my lipstick? She asked, and normally when I asked, I said no, not that I often ask my opinion on my makeovers, but this time for some reason, I said yes. I would, thank you. I carefully put it on. It was bright and bold, and it made me a little nervous, but I was feeling bright and bold, so I took in a deep breath and admired the look instead. Constance, there's a boy waiting for you, said Nancy, poking her head in from the hall to the stage door. And then there it is. My gut feeling popped like a balloon. My face swelled. I had thought Andrew was visiting his parents in Bridgehampton this weekend. I nodded. Are you okay? Asked Chloe, noticing my expression. Why do boys ruin everything? I asked it, standing up and straightening my dress. The right boys don't, she replied, giving me a little squeeze from behind. It's okay to decide you don't like a boy. It's all about finding the right one. I nodded. I wasn't sure what would be the right one. Right now, I have a crush on my chemistry set. It wasn't that I didn't like boys, and didn't get all aflutter around them. I just felt that right now that wasn't my priority. Even for someone else, it seems to be. I grabbed my things and made my way to the stage door. I took a deep breath and smiled and then opened it. Bill? I asked in surprise. I'm so happy you're here, but why you weren't on stage? He asked it, all smiles. I'm not a performer, I replied, still stunned as I stepped out to the restaurant. But the horse! Oh, that was a favor from Ollie, I replied. I preferred to help out behind the scenes. Bill nodded, as it sounded perfectly reasonable. Can I buy you a drink? It was so wonderful to see you. I noticed some of the girls lingering on the edge of the stage watching. I wonder what it might be like to be Chambers, to always have people observing you, but it was strangely nice to see him. Yes, please, I replied. He leaned me past the tables by the foot of the stage and up to the higher platform toward the back where generally rich benefactors watched the show but didn't really. They just chat with one another while being served by our most active waiters. A performance of some kind went on in the distance. This, of course, is where Mr. Chambers was sit with his friends. This is where Bill looked at me and pulled out the chair for me at the empty table. Were you here alone? I asked it, sitting. Yes, he replied. I like to do things alone. It's weird, I know, he added, shaking his head. Not that weird, I replied with a smile. I understood. I wish I had that privilege. It would be nice just to have the time not to be around anyone. So what do you do backstage then? he asked it, flagging down the waiter, who arrived almost anonymously. I suppose he had been waiting and watching for Bill Chambers to raise his hand. Oh, it's not exciting. I helped with costumes, changing into them, quick changes, clean them sometimes. Sorry to interrupt you. Would you like to drink? Asked Bill. Oh, just a soda, I said, turning to the waiter. 2 sodas, he said to the waiter. Then he turned back to me. Were you saying? Was I replied. Oh yes, it's just about the costumes. Well, it sounds fascinating. The world of backstage has always been so intimidating to me, said Bill. I laughed because it's quite the opposite, messy and smelly. Did I dare him to tell him the girls smelled it? But oh, I said suddenly. Yes, I did something amazing today, I added. Why not share after all? That bubbly, exciting feeling was fooling me again. I came up with the perfect recipe for fog. For fog? He looked confused. For fog. For a stage, that is. I made it at home. I have this little chemistry set. It's nothing fancy, but I made it, and I did it, and Mag is going to use it. I grinned wide. That's wonderful, said Bill just as the sodas arrived. Perfect timing. He held his glass, and I did too, following his lead. Here's to inventing things. I couldn't stop smiling. To inventing things. We snipped our drinks. I knew you like machines and how they work. I saw you the other day with that projector, I said. I do, but I need to ask you more questions about your chemistry set, said Bill, waving off the question about him. I nodded, even though I couldn't think the last time anyone had just wanted to ask me about anything. So I told him how it all started in school when I was around 7, playing with the classic volcano experiment. From that point on, I thought it was fascinating that you could mix things to create other things. We got another soda and also some appetizers, and then I found myself talking about my family and how I loved them, but I couldn't be them, and how the horse diving terrified me, but you were so good at it, and how I liked being alone like he did. Eventually, it got to the point where I really wanted to know more about him, and I wondered if he was trying only to talk about me to avoid the subject. Couldn't truly be interested. Well, it's not because I'm not that interesting, he said. My life is all planned out for me. I will take over my father's businesses eventually. Sometimes I go into the office with him, and he forces me to attend these awful parties with these awful people. I need to get to know who's important, but I'm like you. Not possible, I said. Very impossible. I like science too, as you know, how to fix things. If only I could just work for Jen forever. He leaned forward. Can I tell you a secret? Absolutely. I've been volunteering with them. I'm a handyman, he said with a laugh. No. Yes, I go every day with this man named Scott. And we fix things, and I just love it. I believe they think I'm quite good too. The other day our boss, Mr. Connor, took me to help him on a top secret project. Oh, I said. I was giddy. Excitement added onto my own, and it was such a nice feeling. It's the most incredible machine I ever seen, and I have no idea what it does, said Bill, wide-eyed. It's both terrifying and beautiful at the same time. That sounds so interesting, I replied. My eyes were also quite wide. There was something a little different about Bill tonight. He was always enthusiastic and kind to me, but this is something else. I couldn't figure it out. But he was also maniac. I noticed a small black speck of dirt or something just below his left eye. I found myself fixing on it until Bill slammed his soda glass onto the table, spilling the stuff over his hand. I nearly jumped out of my skin. You like science? You like science? He said. I'll show you. I do like science, I replied. Okay. Why not? This is too much fun and quite exciting. We stood up, and Bill thanked down the waiter as I attempted to put on my coat. For some reason, one of the sleeves refused to behave. I'll help, said Bill. Yes, he was quite giddy. It gave me a pause, but only for a moment. It was hard to express the joy at being taken seriously for once. But someone outside my family, together we managed to get me in my coat, and then he grabbed my hand and pulled me across the room. I was laughing so hard, and I didn't care that people were staring. Today was such a good day.